Hey y'all. So we are going to be taking a look at Litha and Talamis season, July and August ahead. So with Litha, right, we're coming out of summer solstice on June 21st, and we are sitting within the watery well of our own emotional cores during this time. This is very much about self-reflection, right? If you think about it, in the northern hemisphere, we are in a time of Litha, which is very watery and really sitting with our emotions. But then at our counterpoint in the wheel of the year, those in the southern hemisphere are at the time of Yule, aka Christmas time, which is also a time of reflection, just through a different lens. So and no matter where you are in the world, whether it's northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, Litha is very much about really sitting with how you feel from a place of reflection and non-resistance, being willing to sit with whatever arises from a place of stillness. It's really about the emotions, the emotional core, without necessarily taking any steps or trying to figure out how to fix anything or alter anything or how to shift one emotion from, one thing to another. It's really just about acceptance of the emotions as they currently are and really sitting with those. Sometimes doing so can lead to questions, right? Not necessarily questions that lead to answers either. Sometimes it's just sitting with our emotions and having questions, which then spawn other questions, which then spawn other questions. But it's a really beautiful opportunity to really live in those questions and consider the aspects within us that are emotionally charged from a place of curiosity and non-judgment. So that's July. Then we move into Lammas in August, which is a time of getting ready to reap that harvest, honey, for Mabon that comes in September, right? It's August. We're at the height of the summer season here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's very warm. We're kind of, winding down the end of summer. In a way, it becomes more intense heat-wise, but we're kind of, taking a look out to autumn going, okay, well, the harvest is coming, so let's just slow our roll a bit and just really be grateful for what we have, where we've been, our experiences up until this point, until we go into the autumnal equinox in the following month, which begins our wind down towards the end of the year, right? And remember, this is around the time where we're getting ready and gearing up for the days to begin to shorten in length in a really noticeable way. So it's interesting around that time of equinox and going into the autumn time that in August, it's sort of like one last abundant hurrah, where we're going, yes, like this is wonderful. This is where there's plenty of fruit, there's plenty of veg, there's plenty of food. Everything is in abundance. We even have an abundance of time. This is usually when we have time from work off. School is usually not in session. It's a time where we can really sit down and really appreciate taking things a little bit more slowly, and also, sharing that joy, sharing the sun, being at, its height in the sky and giving us warmth from a place of excitement and joy. Because it's an exciting point as well, because when we are just before the autumnal equinox, we are coming up to the harvest and the holiday season and going back to school and all of those things. It's an exciting time because that's also, a time of year where we have a lot of holidays, and there's an aspect of like, okay, it's like a fresh new start within a fresh new start, right? We're ending the summer, we're going back to work or back to school, and then we're going in through a time which leads to Samhain, and if you're in America, Thanksgiving, and Yule/Christmas, and New Year's resolutions, and the New Year, and all of these things. So it's kind of like let's just relax and really enjoy being where we are as much as we possibly can before the rest of the year unfolds and we're back into the groove of a lot going on. So July and August, this is really such a beautiful, very special time period where we are not just asked, but encouraged to really move a little bit more slowly and be exactly where we are from a place of pleasure, right? In the Southern Hemisphere, with that Yule energy, we're asked to move more slowly, but from a place of introspection, right? But this is really about pleasure, really enjoying being outside, feeling the heat, enjoying the downtime, and enjoying the time before things really rev up and it feels like a bit of a speeding train into the end of the year, and then we're into a whole new year. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm really going to enjoy this time because I know what's coming. There's a lot to be excited for, a lot of holidays coming up, but the food is plentiful right now. The harvest is going to be coming in, and I really can take this time to just enjoy, sit with my emotions as they are from a place of curiosity and non-judgment, and just soak in the sun and the energy and the stillness. It's kind of those, lazy, languid days of summer energy around July and August. So it's such a treat. It's such a beautiful time period to be within. And with that being said, I'm wishing you all such a beautiful Litha and Lammas. I really love doing this series, relatively new series, where we're looking at 2 months ahead within the context of the wheel of the year, because if we can be aware of what nature is doing, of the cycles of nature within a wheel of the year context, then that empowers us to really work with that given energy and get more out of it. As a result, just like they did, pre-industrial revolution, when we align ourselves to nature's cycles, we have a more fully embodied and enriched and empowered experience. And I'm really excited to keep sharing that with you guys. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this Litha and Lammas. Hey Virgos, let's go ahead and take a look at your animal energy for the upcoming Litha and Lammas July and August season. Before I do, let's talk about your short but sweet meditation. I was inside of a room. I couldn't see the room, but I could see a large window, and there were open plains outside of the window, and I kind of heard that the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plains, and it was I was seeing the rain come down, and it felt like the energy was equivalent to someone, maybe even a child, would be stuck indoors learning a really boring Latin lesson and looking outside longingly, but all there is to see is just rain. It was kind of that feeling. But then I was taken to this lighthouse, and it was suddenly there was this lighthouse, and I heard the song Lighthouse by Patrick Wolf. Then I saw this lightning hit the lighthouse, and then suddenly there emerged this beautiful black stallion. Beautiful. So powerful, standing in front of this, rainy landscape with this lightning in the sky in front of this lighthouse. It felt so powerful. Then I saw the horse run towards me and just break free, and I could see that they were breaking through this like the whole set or the whole scene had actually just been paper, and they broke through it, breaking through the paper, breaking through the mold. It was interesting. Horse energy is very symbolic of, it's chariot energy, Cancerian energy, and we are moving into that season, or in that season already, really, but it's very much about personal freedom and breaking free of any self-perceived limitations or societal constraints, or really anything that limits you, whether that's in perspective, in your physical world, your line of thinking, like I said. And it's really about being aware of those confines and then breaking free of them. So that's really, really interesting, Virgo. Let's go ahead and see what your animal energy is. Why don't we, though? What is the... Suki. It's our old friend, the whale. This is really, really lovely because this is a very watery season that we're moving into, like I said at the top. But whale energy is very Queen of Cups energy in the Tarot. It's about deep feeling. It's about really accessing the depths of your emotions and clearing them, aligning them so that you have full access to your intuition, right? Emotions are the fuel that allow your intuition to work for you. So that's why when our emotions are out of balance, that we don't have clear access to that intuition, right? So what kills that really quickly? What brings our emotions out of balance and kills our intuition and makes it suddenly, our best asset turns into something that's not really available or in working order? Fear. So it's interesting because first of all, I saw all the water and the rain and all of that, and then we're at the bottom of the ocean with the water, with water energy here. But then also that sense of that horse like breaking free, right? Maybe you are breaking free from fear in some way. But there's also the sense of the whale that speaks of music and sound and echolocation and vibrations and heart healing. This is directly related to the heart chakra, but this for sure says there's going to be some deep feeling and emotional experiences coming your way. However, lucky for you, 'tis the season. So you are right in alignment, honey. It's all good. Let's go ahead and see what is going on, Virgo. Oh, did we just get 3 at one time? It would be just like a Virgo to just hurry me up. No shade. I feel like they want to go this way. Wow. Okay. Right. Good. This is how I feel like it wants to be. Can you see this? Okay. So first up, we have will, wisdom, and mind. I can't tell you. This has come up maybe twice. You're at the end of the reading order for today. You're second to last today. And it's interesting because this has come out twice before, and I've never gotten this key in readings, but it's coming up today. So this is a significant time period. Will, wisdom, and mind speaks of certain cycles and karmic lessons closing and ending for you, which opens you up, which is really funny that it's like they want me to see these all at once, to like weave the story together as a picture, which I feel like is a message in and of itself. But anyway, when cycles close and karmic lessons are learned, they end and they open you up to endless possibilities. So it's really interesting that it's up in the air. And I also want to take you to the realness that I was looking out a window in your meditation and seeing open plains, and then heard the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plains, and then water, whale over the plains. Really fascinating here. But this has to do with perspective, right? Cycles closing, ending of all the elements present here. This is the equivalent of graduation day. You know, when you attract the same people, places, and things, and you have to learn the same lesson over and over and over, that's because you have not quite learned your way out of a given karmic cycle or attachment to a certain belief within yourself that is karmic in nature. For example, if you keep attracting the same person over and over again romantically, but they're in different bodies, but it seems to be the same kind of person, right? Then that means that there's a lesson in that is asking you to, let's just make it really specific. Let's say, just for an example, that you keep attracting people who don't know your worth, right? Over and over and over again, don't know your worth. Well, what that really means is that you don't know your worth. And they're acting as lessons in order to wake you up to your own worth, so you start attracting vibrationally people who do know your worth. Because why? You know your worth, right? People who don't know your worth are going to be attracted to you because you don't know it either. Vice versa. If you know your worth, you're going to attract people who also know it, right? That's kind of how it goes. That is the law of attraction, right? Like attracts like. So it's interesting here. You've been ending some cycles and learning some big lessons during this season, right? Which means that you are available to attract newness, right? And that is the best feeling. So up in the air is really interesting because this really speaks of anything is possible, anything can happen. What's next, right? There's a certain sense of we don't know exactly how things are going to land, so we're going to play it by ear. You know, I'm really drawn to the fact as well that 1 + 8 is 9. They're drawing my attention to September. Your birthday season begins in late August and goes into September, right? The 8 here with August. Now, we are looking at July into August, but I feel like they're commenting on your birthday season or this time period specifically for you, where things are going to be a little bit more landed or concrete, or things are at least going to be a little bit more less mysterious. A little bit more concrete was the word I was looking for. So up in the air is very much like anything can happen. We don't know where this balloon is going to land, but it's really about looking at it from a larger picture, which leads us to Archangel Raphael, beautiful number 8. So Raphael is brilliant because, first of all, heart chakra, color green. What did I say about the whale? Heart chakra, green there too, green and green, right? So Raphael's the great healer, right? He speaks of healing the physical body, the emotional body, the intellectual body, the mind, heart, body, spirit, soul, reality. He is the healer of all. And he's such a beautiful energy because he also, a lot of people don't think of this when they think of Raphael, but he's also associated with humor. Raphael is all about like bringing the humor to any situation. And it's kind of that Patch Adams vibe of the best medicine is laughter. And I feel like that's coming in really strongly for you. I do feel like this is going to be a time of some significance, and it's going to feel rather, how do I say this? Not heavy, because the balloon is definitely up in the air, but unknown, right? There's going to be some things that come up that just feels a bit unknown or mysterious that is definitely attached to your emotional core, and you're being called to balance your emotions. So you have access to your intuition during this time. It feels very important. It feels like your intuition and your humor are going to be your two best pieces of, two best arsenal, right? Two best, I don't want to say weapons, but they're going to be your greatest allies, your intuition and your humor. And this is really beautiful with Archangel Raphael because he also comes forward and says, like, I'm here to help align you and heal your heart and allow you to be on a path that actually serves your heart center, right? And that's what this is here. It does feel like this is a time of change. It does feel like there are certain endings, right, with this here that make way for some unknown factors. But it is for the best. But sometimes that's how it goes. Things end, things come to light, and then it's like, well, what now, right? So this is right in the middle here, right? And then we're going to Archangel Raphael, which is saying, but like, trust me, I got you. Because if you notice, this balloon is up in the air above the green, and then he is like on the ground having landed, like, I got you. So even though this is a bit mysterious to have as a third placement in terms of like, well, where's this balloon going to land? It is saying it's going to land exactly where it's meant to. And it's infusing some humor with it to say like keep your humor about you and know that this is part of the experience of life, is to not always have the answers and to embrace the adventure and the journey and the unknown of it, right? Let's get some advice, shall we? Let's get some advice. You know, back to that horse energy as well. In terms of that freedom and freedom from fear, I feel like that is a big part of this as well. Wow, Six of Pentacles. Look at that beautiful ox energy. So Six of Pentacles, traditionally speaking, is about give and take, about reciprocity, and about balance. Now, I love that your advice is coming up as earth energy, right? It's really interesting with this up in the air and then the water on the plains and the landing in the forest and then the whale. It's really, really interesting. We also have the water represented here as well, and the will, wisdom, and mind. Will, wisdom, and mind. That feels part of that we can definitely take literally. So the Six of Pentacles is your advice. This comes in to ask you to examine your relationship to giving and receiving on one hand. So many times we're more comfortable with one than the other, right? Some of us are more comfortable with giving. It's like, I'm really happy to give, but receiving can be hard, right? A really good way to kind of test this for yourself is to really ask yourself, how good am I at receiving compliments? Do I make it into a joke when I get a compliment? Do I shake it off? Do I go, oh, you like my dress? This old thing? Like, do you divert the compliment, or do you just say like, thank you, I received that, right? Versus how are you at, you know, giving, or vice versa. If you're really good at receiving, if you're like, yeah, I'm a great receiver, how good are you at giving? How good are you at giving from yourself without any expectation of anything in return? That's Six of Pentacles with giving and receiving, right? But there's also aspect of Six of Pentacles that says balance, right? Can we balance out our relationships? Can we balance out our relationship to give and receive within and for ourselves, right? How well do we give to ourselves versus give to others? How well do we give to others versus what we give to ourselves? That's what's coming in here for a bit of inspection. I do suspect, because we have Archangel Raphael here, which is the great healer, and we had the whale here, and we had the horse at the top. I have a feeling that this is largely about those of you who are much better givers than receivers. you're really being asked to give to yourself during this time period, right? There's a lot of heart compassion and care that wants to come through here. And it really feels like you're being asked to gift yourself with the same compassion, understanding, patience, and love as you would to someone that you truly care about. Be your own best partner. Be your own best ally. Give that for yourself. Do that for yourself during this period. I feel like that's what Raphael's message is to you. And I feel like a beautiful way to do that as well, like I said, is to infuse what you can, like with loving humor, right? It's really beautiful. Let's go ahead and get an oracle for you. I'm feeling like, let's do this one. Let's do this one. You know, I'm also hearing with the Six of Pentacles as your advice. I would even say observe your relationships as well, even your work relationships, your family relationships. How is the giving and receiving going? Do you give a lot more than you get in your work situation? Do you get a lot more than you give in your personal relationship? That's the question that's coming up with Six of Pentacles as your advice. There's a balance that wants to happen within that, okay? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. How beautiful is that? The Spirit Whisperer, number 3, divine guidance, higher knowing. What did we say about your intuition and the Whale and how balanced emotions allow you to have direct line to your intuition? The Spirit Whisperer, divine guidance, higher knowing. This is really beautiful. You know, this really speaks to the fact, and it's really beautiful with Archangel Raphael's here. Whenever you have like an angel coming up within this deck for you, it means that you are being divinely supported and guided at this time, right? And then you have divine guidance, higher knowing, the Spirit Whisperer. There's always help for you. It's like that, what is that? Was it Dumbledore? Said to Harry, like, I feel like I'm going to butcher it, but basically the essence is like, there's always going to be help for you whenever you need it. You just have to ask. And it's interesting with the Six of Pentacles, like how good are you at asking for help and or receiving it or being aware that you could use it, right? There's something about allowing yourself to not just trust the, you know, your own path at this time, but to also know that you are divinely supported. There is always help available to you. That there's always your intuition there to help guide you and comfort you and inform you, right? So you're really being called to be that Whale, be that Queen of Cups, and really stay connected to your knowing, right? Balance those emotions and have full access to your intuition. That horse as well. I keep seeing that horse in my mind's eye about, you know, that chariot energy of moving forward, unencumbered, fast forward, balanced, moving energy. You know, Cancerian energy, because you did get the horse. Cancerian energy is also very much about the home and the hearth, family, our relationships. So I do feel like that is at the heart of this reading as well. Back to Raphael with the heart chakra and the Whale here as well with the heart chakra. There's something about that where you're really being asked to consider those relationships. And I'm hearing, give them all the time that they want and deserve. There's something about your interpersonal relationships being at the forefront of your experience during this time, which is perfect. That's so in alignment with where we are seasonally. So it's like, it's a perfect time for that. It's really beautiful. And then come the autumn time, come your, you know, near your birthday season, I think it might shift a bit and you'll be able to kind of like move from a different place. But this is a time to really be where you are, trust the path, live in the questions, and really allow yourself to give and receive help when is as needed from a heart-centered place with good humor to see you through, knowing that you're divinely supported and that your best ally always and forever is your intuition and your humor. And it's really beautiful, Virgo. I am sending you so many blessings and love for this Litha and Lammas season. I so hope that this helps and resonates. If so, please let me know in the comments below. I would so appreciate that. Please like, share, and subscribe. And with that being said, just thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And most of all, and as always, just thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.